Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the program. We have a candidate for state representative in District 83. Mr. Glen Britland is back on the show. Glenn, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. And I have to say that I am looking forward to having some turkey next Thursday on Thanksgiving.
Me too. Me and my family, we haven't decided if we're going to go the smoking route or we're going to do the fry. You know, fried turkey is delicious. But a smoked turkey, if you do it right, it's delicate. But if you do it right, it's pretty fantastic as well. So we hadn't figured that out yet. What do you guys do to y'all's turkey?
We usually do the more traditional method of just, putting it in the oven fairly early in the day and having all the trimmings and the dressing and a bunch of vegetables, and most importantly, having a lot of family around.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Glenn, we're talking with Glen Britland. Again, he is a candidate for state representative in District 83. Glenn, tell us a little bit about, number one, remind our audience where District 83 is, and also tell us how the campaign is going so far.
Well, before I get into that, I would like to wish my daughter a happy birthday. She turns 14 tomorrow, so happy birthday, Sonia. Hope you have a good day. District 83 covers part of Carroll County, the southern part of Carroll County, the southern part of Boone County, all of Newton County, parts of Searcy County around the Marshall area, and a good portion of Pope County.
Yeah, that's a big district. That's a very
big
district. Yes,
it is.
A lot of big districts up in that neck of the woods. I was just reading that State Representative Bruce Coleman has, I believe, a Democrat challenger in House District 81. And so I was looking over District 81, and that's a giant district as well. It's pretty fascinating if you look at how, you think a lot of times you think that the Senate, they're the ones that are going to have the giant districts. But some of these House districts are massive.
Yes, they are, because they cover a lot of rural areas, and I feel a little jealous for some of those folks that, are like in the Springdale and Fayetteville area where, you can drive from one end of the district in just a few minutes. But, for me to drive from where I'm at the northern part of the district down to Marshall is over an hour's drive.
Yeah. Wow. So talk about special elections for a minute. Because it's a vacated seat, right? I mean, you're running for state rep. Is it Branscombe, right? Is that the seat that you're running for?
Yes, David Branscombe resigned. I want to say it was last week, and he's now got a job with I believe the USDA and the state. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's my understanding. And so there's now a special election. And what it's looking like is we're going to have two elections between now and the end of May. There'll be two elections, and which means two filing fees and two campaigns and two of everything coming up.
No.
And no. I haven't exactly decided whether I'm going to run in the special election, but it definitely has to be considered.
Oh, really? Okay. So State Representative David Branscombe resigns. You're considering running for the special election. You say two elections. So what's the other election you're referring to?
Well, the other election would be the general election coming up.
I got you. Okay. I didn't know if you were talking about, because, we did get the unfortunate news, terrible news, Senator Standridge passed away.
Senator Standridge has passed away.
Yeah. And so.
Yes, and from what I understand, I was talking with someone from the Carroll County Committee, and they told me that there will be a special election for Senator Standridge's seat running in at the same time as the special election for David Branscombe's seat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and we've got another special election. It looks like because you talk about federal appointments. You've got Senator Eddie Joe Williams. He's taking an appointment, and he officially resigned today. And so now it appears there'll be a special election down there in central Arkansas. So we may have several special elections going on that could, in my opinion, opportunity for, to put real conservatives in there. I mean, if there is a special election, for example, I certainly hope that Mr. R.D. Hopper, I certainly hope that he runs because, he understands the benefits of limited government. And Glenn, I've interviewed you one time, and I've asked a lot of people about you and people that I trust, and they say you know a thing or two about limited government. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, the thing is that, Arkansas is one of the highest tax states in the South, if not the highest tax state in the South, and people wonder why we're not growing and prospering. And you look at other states that have a more reasonable tax system, and they're growing much faster than we are. They've got businesses that are moving in and job growth, and so if we can limit the government a little bit, we should be quite a bit more prosperous.
I mean, no question. And at this point, I mean, we've got to shrink this government, and I think less money going to the government, and meaning we get tax cuts like you're talking about. That's, to me, a great start, because if the government has less money to spend, they don't have the means to grow.
Exactly, and it seems like the attitude of the government is that if we have the money, we need to spend it, and so it would seem that probably the best way to shrink government would be to reduce taxes and thereby force the government to reduce budgets and basically reduce the size of government.
So I want to go back to the special election that's now going to happen for this seat, because last time I talked to you, you were running for this District 83 seat, and it was going to be just I understand you had other Republicans that were interested as well. So have any of them announced about trying to run during a special election for District 83?
Not that I am aware of. I haven't heard of either one of them announcing. But one of the issues that is going to come up with this special election, like I said, once again, having talked with someone from the Harrell County Committee, they have the new voting machines, and the primary for the special election is going to come up on February 13th. They haven't even had their training on the new machines yet, and their training is supposed to be in February.
Sounds like they need to reschedule that then.
Yes, this may very well get to be interesting, especially with the folks with the in areas with new voting machines that have to deal with the special elections.
Wow, yeah, that's certainly interesting. This is the first that we've heard, of actual. I mean, we've been talking about special elections for a while. I think it'd be great if we go ahead and get another special election going for the great people of Fort Smith. I mean, if we're going to have one in Russellville, if we're going to have one for District 83 and one down in Central Arkansas to fill Eddie Joe Williams' seat, why not have one to fill Jake Files' seat? He'd have to resign first, but I mean, I think that's appropriate. What do you think, Glenn? Have you followed Senator Jake Files and him being mentioned in an FBI affidavit? Do you follow any of that?
I have followed some of it, and it's not it's a pretty good ways away from where I live, but yeah, I have followed some of it. And in all honesty, you were talking earlier this week about how the Republican platform has changed up. I still believe in personal responsibility, and with all of the things that are happening with that over there, and what would seem to be overwhelming evidence that's already out there, that he probably, in my opinion, he probably should resign. And I am greatly disappointed that not only has the Republican Party not asked for it, but the governor hasn't asked for it either.
That's exactly right. And it doesn't take much. It's you just release a statement to the press or hold a press conference. Do something, try to save the brand. But you bring up an interesting point, Glenn. We did cover the story. It was over at conduitforaction.org. It's still up. That from 2014 to 2016, they've made changes to the platform, and they've omitted phrases out of the principles. They've taken the 10 principles and moved them down to 5. And the 10 principles talked about limited government. And it doesn't mention limited government in the 5 principles now. And the 10 principles talked about faith in God, and that's not in the 5 principles. Now it's kind of buried, reference to our Creator, which is good, but it's not in the principles. It's kind of buried in the preamble and stuff like that. And the theory is, and I think this is a sound theory, that these changes were made so that establishment Republicans, if they are confronted with this phrase that I have talked about on this program, platform Republicans, I think they're trying to directly combat that message by saying, well, this is what the platform says, and it doesn't say specifically what you're advocating for, because they took limited government out of the mix. What are your thoughts on that, Glenn?
Well, yeah, it would seem that they're doing their very best to dilute the whole thing down. And one of the things that I've experienced is that going to these various committee meetings, that they always read the Republican platform at the beginning of the meeting. And in all honesty, it seems like it's been a shift to the left, and it's really a shame. I would like to see the Republican Party shift a little bit further to the right, and actually stand up for the principles that got the conservatives in office in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Hey, Glenn, I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to give you the last word, but I just want to thank you for coming on and just you tell us, just kind of keep us posted on what's going on in that District 83 special election and everything else. I'd love to be kept apprised on that. So anyway, I'll give you the last word, sir.
Well, I appreciate being on Johnny Cash Friday, and I'd like to say that if anybody wants to get more information, I have a Facebook page. It's Glen Britland for Representative, District 83. And if you'd like to make a donation to the campaign, it's Glen Britland for Representative, Post Office Box 905, Compton, Arkansas 72624. And Paul, I look forward to being on the program in the future. And to everyone out there, have a blessed Thanksgiving and enjoy family and friends.
Absolutely, Glenn. We appreciate it, sir. You be safe. Have a happy Thanksgiving. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.